Hello everyone. Before we start the session, I would like to inform you all that please go through this disclaimer and follow the same. The topic which I discuss here is economic reforms in India. We are going to discuss two major economic reforms. Here, reforms means changes for betterment in the policy of industries and business. Based on economic condition, Government of India had done economic reforms in 1991 as well as in 2016. In this class, we are discussing about economic reforms in 1991, that is industrial policy in 1991 and their impact on the business and industries. In next class, we will discuss about demonetization and impact of demonetization. Let's understand what do you mean by Indian economic reforms in 1991. What exactly happened to the Indian economy in 1991? In last class, I told that government imposed several restrictions, regulations and controls on the working of private sector enterprises. That leads to serious foreign exchange crisis and high government deficit. What it means? What exactly happened to the Indian economy in 1991? Let's discuss in brief. Most countries in the world depend on the global economy for a wide variety of things. India depends on West Asia for oil, South Asia for gold, US for technology, Southeast Asia for vegetable oils and so on. To buy these items from the world market, we need US dollar, the global currency of trade. The only way to earn dollar is by selling enough of our stuff, that is goods, in the global market or global economy by doing exports. In 1991, we were running out of dollars to buy essential items like crude oil and food from the rest of the world. This is termed as a balance of payment crisis or foreign exchange crisis or government aid deficit. Hope you all got it. What is foreign exchange crisis or high government deficit? Which means India was not able to balance its accounts. Exports were significantly less than imports. Export should be more than import, but exports were less than import. Since we didn't have enough dollars, we India began its liberalization when Rao became our Prime Minister in 21st June 1991. What are the reasons for implementing economic reforms in India? The first reason is large and growing fiscal imbalances. Gross fiscal deficit rose to 12.1% of GDP in 1991. Fiscal deficit rose to 12.1% means negative GDP in 1991. Second one, growing inefficiency in the use of resources. Resources were not using in efficient manner. That means we can connect it to irrational method of production, which we already studied. Third one, low foreign exchange reserves. $1.2 billion in January 1990. There was very low foreign exchange reserves. Fourth one, high inflation rate. Price was valued very high. High inflation rate, 13.87% in the year 1990 to 1991. Excess of consumption and expenditure over revenue resulting in heavy government borrowings. Fifth one, expenditure was more than income. The low annual growth rate of Indian economy stagnated around 3.5% from 1950 to 1980s, almost 30 years, which per capita income averaged 1.3%. Annual growth rate was not going towards betterment, that is no improvement at all. Seventh one, increase in losses for public sector enterprises. Public sector enterprises were under the losses. In simple term, we can say that India was under bad condition. Hence, all these reasons made Government of India to do some changes in these economic policies. So, P.V. Narasimha Rao, Prime Minister of India, and Dr. Manmohan Singh, Finance Minister of India, at that time introduced industrial policy in 1991. After many significant policy shifts in the beginning of 1990s, with new industrial policy in July 1991, India has taken a series of measures to structure the economy and improve the balance of payment position. This new economic policy introduced changes in several areas, or we can say that This new economic policy had several features. The features are as follows. Number 1, delicensing. The most important part of the new industrial policy of 1991 was the end of the industrial licensing or the license raj or red tapeism. Under the previous industrial licensing policy, private sector firms have to secure licenses to start an industry. This has created long delays in the startup of industries. The industrial policy of 1991 has almost abandoned, cancelled the industrial licensing system. It has reduced industrial licensing to 6 sectors. Second feature is decrease the role of public sector. Many of the industries reserved for the public sector under the earlier policy were de-reserved now. The role of the public sector was limited only to 4 industries of strategic importance, including atomic energy, mining, ITC and railways. Third feature is disinvestment. Government has adopted disinvestment policy for the restructuring of the public sector in the country, which means based on the efficiency and competitiveness of public sector were transferring into private sectors. That is transfer of ownership and management of public sector enterprises to the private sector enterprises. Fourth feature is liberalization of foreign investment. Allowing foreign investment to enter the India's investment market, foreign capital in the form of FDI and FPI were entered into our country. In many activities, 100% FDI was permitted. Fifth feature is technical collaboration liberalized. Granted automatic permission for technology agreements with foreign companies. Sixth feature is setting up of FIPB, which means Foreign Investment Promotion Board was established to promote and channelize foreign investment in India. These are all the 6 major features of economic reforms in 1991. In short, we can say this policy sought to liberate industry from the shackles of the licensing system, drastically reduce the role of the public sector, and encourage foreign private participation in India's industrial development. This is also known as the LPG model of growth. New economic policy was broadly classified as liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now, we'll discuss one by one. The first one is liberalization, which means freeing the Indian business and industry from all unnecessary controls and restriction on economic activities. Liberalization of the Indian economy or industry has taken place with respect to following aspects. Number 1, abolishing licensing requirements in most of the industries. That is delicensing. Hope you all know what is delicensing, as I already explained in features of new economic reforms or policy. Second aspect is freedom in deciding the scale of business activities. Business owners can decide about the size of operations however they want. Third one is removal of restrictions on the movement of goods and services. That is, trading can be done without restriction. Fourth one, freedom in fixing the prices of goods and services. Price can be fixed by the owners. Fifth one, reduction in tax rates. Tax rates were reduced by the government. Sixth one, simplifying procedure for imports and exports. No difficult procedures for import and exports anymore. Seventh one, making it easier to attract foreign capital and technology to India. No difficult procedures again for foreign investors in technology to enter into the Indian market. Above all aspects clearly explains how new economic policy liberated, that is, freeing the Indian business and industry from all unnecessary controls and restrictions on economic activities. Hope you understand what you mean by liberalization, how it worked. Effects of liberalization. The fruits of liberalization reached their peak in 2007 when India recorded its highest GDP growth rate of 9%. Because of liberalization, India was able to record its highest GDP growth rate of 9% in 2007. With this, India became the second fastest growing major economy in the world, next only to China. Next comes to privatization. Under this, economic reforms aimed at giving greater role to the private sector in the nation building process and a reduced role to the public sector, which means allowing the private sector to set up more and more of industries that were previously reserved for the public sector. Government of India allowed private people to establish or start their interested industries except atomic energy, mining, ITC and railways. Therefore, government decided to refer the loss making and sick enterprises to the Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction and adopted the policy of planned disinvestment. What do you mean by disinvestment? Which means transfer of loss making and sick enterprises to private sector. Next is objectives or impact of privatization. Because of privatization, what was the situation occurred? What is the use of it? What was the impact? Let's discuss. Number 1. First impact was privatization increases the efficiency and competitive power of the enterprises irrespective of public and private sector. Second impact was it was strengthen the industrial management. Third impact was it helped to earn more foreign currencies. Fourth one was it made optimum use of resources. Last one, it helped to achieve rapid industrial development of the country. All these are impact of privatization. Hope you got it. The next LPG model, the last LPG model is globalization. It is a process by which people, their culture, money, goods and information can be transferred between countries with no barriers. Broadly speaking, globalization means the interaction of the domestic economy with the rest of the world with regard to foreign investment, trade, production and financial matters. Globalization means Indian company or business can work or do business with other countries' business or organization. In simple terms, we can say any organization can work in globally. That means globalization. Following steps are taken for globalization. First one, reduction in tariff. Custom duties and tariff imposed on imports and exports, that is tax on imports and exports, are reduced gradually just to make Indian economy attractive to the global investors. Second one, long-term trade policy was enforced for longer duration. All controls on foreign trade have been removed. Third one, partial convertibility of Indian currency. Up to specific extent, converting Indian currency in the currency of other countries introduced. Fourth one, increase in equity limit of foreign investment. Equity limit of foreign investment has been raised in 47 high priority industries, FDI from 40% to 100%. Let's discuss on impact of government policy changes on business and industries. That is impact of economic reforms in 1991 or impact of LPG model. LPG policy of government has made a significant impact on the working of Indian business and industry. The first impact is increasing competition. As a result of economic reforms, that is changes in the rules of industrial licensing and entry of foreign firms, competition for Indian firms has increased, especially in services industries like telecommunication, airlines, banking, insurance, etc., which were earlier in the public sector. For example, LIC and SBI now faces competition from private insurance companies. To control, we can say the increasing competition has adversely affected many companies. To conclude, we can say that. Next, second impact is more demanding customers. Increasing competition in the market has widened the choice of customers in purchasing better quality of goods and services. Today, customers become more demanding because they are well informed. To attract customers, many new schemes were made by companies. Nowadays, products are manufactured keeping in the minds of demand of the customers. This has created buyer's market in the country. Third impact is a rapidly changing technological environment. Technology is changing at a very fast rate. The basic reason is increase in competition. The rapidly changing technology environment requires improvement in machines, equipments, process, products and services. Business enterprises have to adopt modern technology and produce world-class products to survive and grow in the market. Latest technology provide a competition edge and helps in manufacturing better quality goods at lower cost. Therefore, big firms are now investing huge amount in research and development, but rapidly changing technology creates tough challenges for small companies due to lack of financial resources. Fourth one, necessity for change. Before 1991, business enterprises could follow stable policies for a long time, but after 1991, the market forces have become very dynamic. The business enterprises have to modify their existing policy and operations from time to time. For example, companies like Samsung, LG, Videocon, etc. keep on making changes in their products so that their products can face global competition. Fifth one, need for developing human resources. In India, there has been a huge shortage of trained personnel. New market conditions require personnel with higher competence, skill and training. So, there is a need for developing human resources. As a result, compensation levels for managerial and technical services have been raised sharply. Sixth one, market orientation. Earlier, firms were following selling concepts, that is, produce first and then go to market for sale. But in the present scenario, there is a shift to marketing concept where the firms have to study and analyze the market first to identify customer needs and produce goods accordingly. This concept, market concept regarding market, everything we are going to study in 9th chapter under chapter name called marketing. In depth, we will study that. Anyways, next impact of LPG model is loss of budgetary support to public sector. Before 1991, each and every loss of public sector were to be bear by government by granting funds from budgets. Public sector enterprises realize that in order to survive and grow, they will have to improve their performance and generate their own resources. Otherwise, these enterprises have to face disinvestment. To conclude, on the whole, impact of government policy changes in respect of liberalization, privatization and globalization has been positive on Indian firms have developed strategies and adapted business process and procedures to meet the challenges of competition. They have become more customer focused and adopted measures to improve customer relationship and satisfaction. If the Indian economy is shining at the world map currently, its sole contribution goes to the implementation of the new economic policy in 1991. In next class, we will discuss about demonetization, as I already told in the beginning of this class, regarding meaning of demonetization, aims of demonetization, the objective, features of demonetization and impact of demonetization. We will learn in next class. Thank you so much everyone.